our partner radio stations, and these are Wave FM radio on 98.7 Abuka, covering the rest of Southern Province. We are also live on Spice FM on 91.1 in Central Province. Spice FM is in Kawe, but covering the rest of Central Province. We are grateful that you found time to tune in. Also live on Tuta FM on 90.7 in Mansa. And we are live on our Facebook page, that's 5FM Radio Zambia, and our YouTube channel, which is 5FM Zambia. So look out for that on our Facebook page. Follow our conversation. Leave us a comment or indeed a question. I'm your host, Zakaria Banda. Now, today on the Tuesday edition of the burning issue, we expected or are still expecting one guest, but so far we have the 2 out of the 3 guests that we expected to host this morning. So in our studio with us is Mr. Chanoda Ngwira, who is the Patriotic Front member and youth leader. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Morning, Zach. It's good to be here, and it's a great opportunity for me to feature on this program with you, at least for the first time.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And of course, Maxwell Chongu, who is a politician coming back from sabbatical leave. Welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Zach, and good morning to our listeners out there. It's good to be here for the second time now.
Indeed. And we are expecting to have the United Party for National Development National Youth Chairperson in Gilbert, Liswaniso. We are yet to hear how far he is from the studios. We've been trying to reach him. Unfortunately, his phones have gone unanswered this morning. We sure hope that he will join us. A lot to discuss on today's program. Let's first start with the fact that you are coming back from politics. You're coming back from sabbatical leave, Maxwell Chongu. Life has not been very okay with you, I know so, because obviously since the PF lost an election, you decided to take a back seat and sort out a number of issues that surrounded you. Just share with us how your sabbatical leave has been and why did you take that leave?
I took my leave because I needed to organize myself. I had quite a number of issues that I needed to address in my life, private life and politics. And well, it's been a great experience because it's a well-balanced journey in the sense that there was some positivity out of my life experiences, and of course there's some negative things, and adding the two together has added maybe an ounce of some wisdom to me to make correct decisions and do maybe take up politics on a different level. Yeah, so it has been very interesting.
I like that. Mr. Ngwira, yours, I know you've been quite active in politics, but just share with us, because obviously it's the first time here, just share with us how life has been since the Patriotic Front lost election. It's been 2 years now. How has it been for you?
Well, I think it's not just for me, but I think generally the Zambian people, that obviously includes you, our colleagues who are non-partisan. I think life has been evidently bad for a common Zambian out there. There's no money in circulation. I think I would put it by intent, because if local contractors, suppliers, and all those business people were being paid their money, obviously we could have, some kind of liquidity in the economy. So based on the fact that there's dryness in the economy, you don't expect Zambians to, have a good life. And also we must be very emphatic here that the democratic space for us politicians has really shrinked, and we sometimes fear to leave our homes to move around, because you never know, you may just be pounced at by any politician, by any police officer, maybe because you issued a statement that is not pleasing in the ears of those that have been given a very rare chance to actually govern this nation.
Now, as people, both of you belong to the Patriotic Front. This is a party that is now in opposition. Let's be realistic and just tell us how you think the first 2 years of the UPND has been like. Where they've scored successes, let's say so, if need be, where they have failed, let's say so, if need be. Let me start with you, Maxwell Chongu.
Thank you, Zach. For me, I think if I was to judge the performance of the UPND, I would go by what the president says in his first briefing after the inauguration ceremony. And I remember vividly, he indicated that he was going to govern based on 3 principles. And that is the rule of law, democracy, and respect of human rights. So based on those things, of course, not everything can change within 2 years. But we have seen good pronouncements that are coming from him, and yet the people that are expected to implement what he's saying, they're doing the opposite. We have seen the president on numerous occasions saying, do not arrest people, investigate first before you arrest people. Investigate first before you seize people's properties. Investigate first before you know. But on the actual ground, what's happening is different. We have seen people being arrested before an investigation. We have seen people's properties being seized before an investigation. We have seen people being denied police bond, you know. So to me, the president is speaking a different tone, which every Zambian appreciates. But to implement those things are doing the opposite. And this is actually denting the image of the president and the New Dawn administration. You see, when we are coming to human rights, it will still be the same thing. You know, we expect high levels of professionalism from, and we expect them to be independent. You know, we don't to be in government wings, so to speak. Because once there is political influence, it's difficult for even our own technocrats in the civil service to perform. Because instead of doing what is correct, they will be doing what they are being instructed to do. And it becomes a challenge to our economy. So, of course, when you talk about cadreism, they have tried there, here and there. We know that it can't end completely, but they have tried to minimize it. Mostly in Osaka, we have seen that it has minimized. In terms of the violence that maybe they could have used to propel themselves to the presidency, to say PF was violent here and there, or MMD was violent, or these other political parties. Okay, we have seen a reduction in certain areas, but does not mean that it has been completely phased out. So we want them to do more, particularly on the issue of, human rights. We expect the president to be firm on that. On the issue of democracy, we expect political parties being denied permits to hold rallies, which is very, very unfair. And it's against what he's saying, and it's against what is on the ground. We've also noticed that there's the middle class in the society. It's collapsing. It's collapsing because citizens are scared to invest in their own country because they believe when they're in their country, the next knock they'll receive on their door is a knock from maybe Anti-Corruption Commission or Drug Enforcement Commission or Joint Investigative Team. So this is affecting even small businesses, and the impact on ordinary citizens is actually bad.
Chanoda?
I'll be honest with you. I think the best yardstick, or rather the litmus that we can use on anything, especially in the political arena where people promise and when given fulfill those promises. I think that's the best yardstick and basis. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema definitely overwhelmingly beat Mr. Lungu because he gave hope on paper to the Zambian people. Just like my brother here, the one who is summarizing his sabbatical leave, has said, when you have said something, stick to it, or at least try and make steps towards achieving what you have said. I can't lie to you, Zach. The UPND is a pro-poor party when it comes to on paper. On paper, they are a great party. On paper, they have got great ideas. But I don't know, sorry to use this word, what demon comes in to disturb the implementation. The president, just from the onset, even when he had the first speech after his election, the Zambian people said, yes, Kachema Musuma, Abwera. But unfortunately, the opposite is what is happening. The president has talked about the rule of law. This is a word or words that are in his mouth at almost every opportunity that he has to address the Zambian people. The president has at all times without number, declared war against corruption. I think that obviously is quite soothing in the people's ears. But unfortunately, what is obtaining is different from what he pronounces. So, Zach, if you are a commander and you are surrounded by lieutenants, you are a commander, you are surrounded by maybe corporals, give a directive. That directive is not followed and is not implemented by the people that are expected to actually implement, then you as a commander do not take an action. The people that are watching you will definitely say, I think the commander is happy with what is happening. And that is exactly what is going on. And that is exactly what Mr. Hakainde Hichilema is doing. We love him. It's not that when we remind him of the right things that he's supposed to do, then we have issues with him. No. On the rule of law, we have seen that many people have had their properties grabbed on cases that they have not even investigated. On the rule of law, we have seen that the central government has gone against the judiciary on some of the rulings. For example, the Kwacha and the Kabushi elections, particularly Honorable Boman Lusambo and the Honorable Malanji. The Constitutional Court was very categorical that these people qualify. Had to deny them that chance. So it becomes very confusing, Zach. It becomes very painful to see a situation where the highest, positioned man in the land of Zambia, who is a president, speaks something. As president, when you speak, those are marching orders. When you speak, it becomes law. Even when he just coughs, everybody has to wake up. What is the president trying to communicate? How many times has President how many times has President Hakainde Hichilema addressed the people? And in his speech, if you analyze speeches, most of them are quite hope-giving. But when it comes to implementation, things are not moving on. Things are not happening. Really, I don't know if there's any way that a Zambian would say maybe out of 10, they've done so much. Basically, there is literally, according to my opinion, nothing to even, use to measure their performance. Coming to issues of cadres, just like my brother Maxwell said, it is truth, and I must say the efforts are seen. However, we expect some more efforts to put one end to some of the behaviors that we've been experiencing as a country. You know that even UPND largely were put out of power based on cadreism. And, the UPND was quite, politically, astute to a point where they went with that to the Zambian people and convinced them. Zach, PF did not fail to perform. No, PF performed. It's a fact. But the of cadreism, I think, was just too much. And it went beyond the neck, beyond the herd. In short, the Zambian people were submerged regards this area. I mean, people couldn't move freely in intercity. People, we had flags all over. We had another where people were called, sorry to say this, I'm talking about my party, but sometimes it's important to face the truth because only the truth shall set us free. And that is what made the PF largely 80%, 90% to lose power. And unfortunately, the UPND, I'm seeing it sliding towards the same. I'll give you an example. Issues of breaking offices in Kafue, issues of closing offices for council secretaries, is it in Sesheke? You talk of alleged attacks on, Kasama. There was also, Max, Petauke incidents where the former head of state got disrespected, or, publicly. And we recently heard that last week there was that purported UPND cadres went to, with an aim of harassing or disturbing the road run by former President Edgar Chagwalungu. But I'll be honest with you, if we were in the shoes of UPND, I think we could have learned from the mistakes that us as a Patriotic Front made those days.
It should be very concerning for people like yourselves. You've been very articulate, you've been strong youth leaders in your party. To see that your party is going through conflicts, there are problems. The leadership is entangled into court cases. The leadership are fighting, and I think this definitely has an impact or effect on the youth, because they say, when the elephants fight, the grass suffers. How much are you likely to suffer as the youth of the party when leadership is in conflict? Let's start with you, Max.
First of all, I think party Zaki alikuwa constitution, and those that have got insatiable appetite to become leaders, who are failing to manage their political ambitions well, are the ones that are just igniting confusion, which is not even there. To start with, I don't think it would be correct to say they are in fights, because I have not seen other aspiring presidential candidates fighting. But I do believe that maybe we could have been doing things that have brought the name of the party in direct firing range from public ridicule. And Bazak, let me say this. The party PF went for it in 2021.
Yeah.
And office bearers were elected at that conference, and they were given a mandate of 5 years. It's simple. We do understand that ECL, after losing the elections, he indicated to the cabinet office to say, I'm resigning from active politics. And the record is there, and an acknowledgement is there from cabinet office. However, on the party side, the party said the constitution only allows you to resign when you hand over power to somebody. So because you don't want to be part of, to be active in politics, we respect your decision, but we would want you to be on indefinite leave so that you can allow us to organize the conference, the constitution conference, and the party conference. Then you come back just to hand over power. So I don't see any reason why people are getting it all wrong. And it's a pity. If I was to go into certain details, there are matters that, so I don't want to be caught off guard. But basically, on surface, I'll just say what I've said. Yes, of course, it has got a little bit of some effect on the grassroots, because when the party is out of power, those that have got too much change, they will try to influence certain individuals so that they can rise against the leadership. And I believe that is exactly what is happening. But lately, if you have noticed, I think the water has simmered down. And I think they've come to the realization that they need to just respect the constitution. And by so doing, there are stages that they've put up before they could go to the conference. And I'm sure you're aware that they're yet to go for the constitution conference.
Yeah.
Then once they're done with that, then they'll proceed and elect a new leader, President Edgar Chanoda, and everything will be back to normal. Yeah, although I'm not refusing that it could have created a little bit of some camps here and there, But with time, youth leaders are there to educate people on the importance of understanding the party constitution, because if we are not going to understand our own party constitution, why should Zambians trust us to understand the national constitution? You understand? So there are those bad eggs that are there, of course, trying to ignite some confusion and tension, making it look like, and we all know that, you have seen it. You can even tell that these people that are speaking, number one, are not politicians. Number two, they don't even have influence. Of course, others are just abusing social media. But when you go on the ground, you will get the reality on the ground that people have understood the process and they'll respect the process, including the aspiring presidential candidate.
Mm. Your comment on this issue of leadership in conflict?
Well, in the first place, there's no conflict. Leadership in the Patriotic Front.
Okay.
We have the acting president today, constitutionally, who is Honorable Given. We have the Secretary General, Mr. Honorable Raphael Nakachinda, constitutionally so. And we have his deputy. And so everything is running smoothly. Just a quick background to these issues that are obtaining, just like my brother has said, not to subtract or add anything. President Lungu, I think it is in public domain, wrote to Cabinet Office that I'm retiring from politics. That is a requirement, because definitely if he's still active in politics, there are certain benefits like emoluments and these others that will definitely be gotten from him. The man has to survive after office. After such a wonderful service to the Zambian people, he has to at least continue having a life. However, this is agenda is not a Patriotic Front agenda. I want you to get it from me. It is not a Patriotic Front agenda. This is an agenda by the Zambian people themselves. Zach, there is no leader in the Patriotic Front that started this Alebwererapo thing. It is the Zambian people, Nani partisan people, most of them, that started this issue of ECO Abwererepo Chabe. The reason is simple. The performance by the current government is below par. It is not as the Zambian people expected. And now people are comparing between Mr. Hakainde Hichilema's performance and that of Mr. Lungu's performance. It's like a woman gets married to a different husband and the former husband is still there. She'll start comparing. I'm not going to talk about the nitty-gritties of what happens in a home, but she'll start comparing, especially when you touch certain areas to do with the activities in the bedroom. If the woman knows that, but ujamuntu enzoesako, chimax cheve, no, I think that was. So this is what is happening. This is not, and I want to repeat this, is not a PF agenda. Nor is it an Edgar Lungu agenda. No, these calls are not coming from Edgar Lungu. These calls are not coming from the Patriotic Front. Definitely no. These calls are coming from the Zambian people, but because of the comparisons that are being done right now.
What then is your position as youth leaders of the Patriotic Front on this issue? I mean, do you agree? Will you succumb to Zambians who are calling on the former president to come back? Or this is an issue that you, as party leadership, are saying, let's not encourage this?
Zach, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes you allow nature to take its course. Giving opinions, positions may just frustrate nature. If nature says mvura ibwera mu October, you can't stop it. If nature says mvura izabwera mu January, you can't stop it. If nature said ungawewe tuzambogula pari 300, you can't stop it. No matter what you do, even if you try to do gymnastics of ZNS and all that, when nature said this is what is going to happen, the party position is very clear. And I'm happy to be the Secretary General. I'm not that close, but there are certain capabilities that that man possesses that are needed now in the Patriotic Front. One, we needed an active secretariat with a commander that, in terms of inverted commas, with a commander that when he speaks, people are going to listen. Now, here is a issue. There is the revision, or rather the amendment of the constitution of the Patriotic Front, which process has already started. And each goal that just get to be gotten without a process, there's what we call a process. And as we speak now, the parties at the process at amending the constitution. And the constitution conference, like Max has said, is going to be done. From there, we are going now to have the extraordinary convention. So where is the issue of ECL and all that coming from? Because constitutional, as we speak, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu still remains, or rather still is the office bearer as president, because he still has a term up to 2026. So if today nature allows, if today the pressure on President Edgar Lungu says, no, I think, if nature says that, he is fitting in properly, because as far as he's concerned, he is still got a mandate. However, the party has been very clear. Processes are going to be followed. Constitutional conference, then extraordinary general conference to elect a president, on which day President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is going to hand over. However, nature may just force people or may just change things. Listen,
that sounds like
maybe let me try to come in. Now let me also try to chip in. I think for me, I will say this, and I'll be very straight to the point. The issue of Vale Bwererapo is not something that has been orchestrated by the PF leadership. The biggest opposition party to the United Party for National Development, UPND, is actually the economy and the people of Zambia. Now, the UPND has failed to assemble a team which should be able to explain to the people of Zambia what has led to high cost of living and mechanisms that are being put in place to mitigate on those challenges. Instead, our colleagues have continued on a path of like they're in opposition. When the Zambian people speak and you want to shut them down or you want to insult them, you are pissing them off. You are causing a revolution against yourselves. And once the Zambian people want their voices to be heard and you are suppressing them, you're oppressing them, the next thing they'll start an agenda. And they are the ones that now started this Alebwere up. And I want to be categorically clear here that it is not Alebwere up put to ECL. It is actually Alebwere up directed to PF. Because people are able to compare what PF did, despite its own challenges or disadvantages, and what is happening now, in terms of cost of living, in terms of fuel price, in terms of business opportunities, in terms of scarcity of money in circulation, in terms of employment, in terms of youth empowerment and employment. You know, today we're looking at a situation where when UPND formed government, I was very happy when I heard, I think a few months in government, they organized what was called the National Youth in Dabat Mulongoshi Conference Center. And it was at that point I expected the New Dawn advantage to take the New Dawn government to take advantage of so many challenges that the youths are going through in our country today. Some of the suggestions, we had already put them up there when we were in power. New Dawn would have just picked one or two things and used them to empower and employ our young people. But apparently, from that conference, there is nothing fruitful that came out from there. Today, it's quiet. Today, what people know is that they were told to go and form cooperatives. How can people form cooperatives if there's no one to give them capital to run those cooperatives? Today, youths were picked from Western Province, Northwestern Province, Southern, the Black Mountain. The Black Mountain is done. What next? So these are some of the things that people are looking at. If the New Dawn administration had a vibrant youth league, they could have taken advantage of our resources, because each province in our country today has been blessed with an activity of economic value. Today, if you go to Western Province, you're talking about timber. But when you go on the ground in those bushes, you will find that they are Chinese people doing the timber. Today, if you talk about Northwestern Province, you're talking about minerals. But when you go, when it's our locals and young people doing mining, it becomes illegal mining. Today, when you go to Copper Belt the livelihood depends on mining activities. What have we done to change the lives of people in terms of empowering them with what they already have in the province? Because lesata akabwere poli birugula ndati yo bakopa build na military province imbi kwete fimbi. You understand? Every province has got an activity of economic value that can be used to empower the locals. What the UPND needed to do, we understand there's high cost of living, and it's not only Zambia that is affected. We do understand and sympathize with them to say this is a global challenge. But what measures are they putting in place, looking at homegrown solutions to turn around the situation? You understand? So that is where we have a challenge. We sympathize with them. High cost of living is not as a result of failed leadership. We understand that there are both external and internal factors that could have led to that. But what are the measures? What measures is UPND putting in place before it starts calling people to say, what measures are they putting in place in terms of homegrown solutions? For example, Zach, why should Zambia be known at global market stage as a reservoir of raw materials and not an equal contributor to finished product? Why should Zambia be taking copper as raw materials from Zambia and not processing it into finished products right here in Zambia? Because by processing copper into finished products, we'll create both business and employment opportunities for our locals. Those things that they are going to manufacture using our copper out there, we are creating employment and business opportunities for people outside there. But if we could do it here, there will be an influx of foreign currency because people will be coming to our nation to buy those things. We'll create business opportunities for our people. We'll create employment opportunities for our people. You understand? We have got Sojidite. We've got all these things. Why are we not taking advantage? Because in as much as we are faced with high cost of living, the solution is right in our mining sector and the agriculture sector. But what are we doing in those areas to improve the livelihood of people? Instead, we're hearing statements from a minister, Mr. Mtoro, saying, no, start preparing your people. FISIP will be phased out. Zach, FISIP takes care of about 1 million small-scale farmers. And they contribute in between 93 to 97% of our maize in our national reserves. You go and tell them that for many people, 1 million, you won an election with 1.8, 1 million difference. You go and remove 1 million. What do you expect? You expect those people not to start saying, are they waited up? Today, give me one project that you think the new Dawn administration has done for the youth. Countrywide, pick a province. Just one project. There is literally nothing. We appreciate the removed cadres from the bus stations from the market. We give them plus, something that we failed to do as BF. What have they done to those cadres they removed from the markets and the bus stations? Because without doing anything to them, those people are going to become thieves.
They've been asked to form cooperatives, access CDF.
Listen, a cooperative that does not contribute to the growth of our economy through paying taxes, it's useless. There should be an orientation process. When you're telling people to form cooperatives, we should have even numbers, we should have statistics. We told them to form cooperatives. These are running. These are about to start running. Where are those cooperatives? They're nothing. They're nowhere. We recently saw a video of guys saying, no, where is the cooperative? There was no cooperative in Ndolo. There was. So there is need for political will. Zambia has been blessed with so many resources. The problem with our politics in Zambia today is that we believe when we form government, we don't need ideas from those that challenged us. That is where the problem is. Secondly, at national level, the country cannot develop if we allow political interference in the civil service. You don't go and get someone who has never been in the civil service, has got no institutional memory, no institutional knowledge, and you come and make them a permanent secretary. What about the directors that have worked for years in there? Do you expect them to be motivated when they're going for work? You understand? So we need to change the style of politics. We appreciate when President Hakainde Hichilema came in, he came in with a style of no violence, no cadreism. We appreciate that. But we must also begin to know that for the nation to develop, the systems of government should be strengthened by giving them the necessary freedom and independence to perform, devoid of any. Now we have got a situation where even a police officer will just come and arrest you because someone has instructed him to do so. The next, when you give me police bond, then they will tell you we're waiting for instructions. Actually, it's one of the terms that is being abused at the moment, which is not supposed to be the case. When you are going to arrest somebody, you're supposed to investigate. When you're done with investigating, you should be able to say, look, I've arrested you because of this, and tomorrow we are going to court, and the evidence is on the table. Zach, we have been arrested before. Okay? I was appearing before the courts of law for 1 year, 5 months. Zach, Joint Investigative Team arrested my wife and myself to say I did construction works. It was all over social media without a valid NCC certificate. I was arrested. They put a restriction notice on my house. They froze my money that was supposed to come from AFCON, and AFCON has left the country. 2 years down the line, I called the arresting officer. He says, in a 2 years down the line, I've never been called to be explained to what transpired. Not even taken to court. And I have the documents. And I have been telling these officers from investigative wings that before you do certain things to please political players, ensure that you get to the nitty-gritty. Because if you take me to court, I'll simply say, Your Honor, I don't even need a lawyer. I'll just say, Your Honor, what is this? Now, in as much as one might be happy with Maxwell and somewhere the power of man or what, you're forgetting that it is the taxpayers' money that is coming to suffer in future. The same taxpayers' money that civil servants are struggling to pay, they're paying through the nose. We have seen 6.4, is it 6.2 or what being given to people because of gross professional misconduct. Should we continue on the same path? Why is it that when you investigate people and you have not found anything, why can't you just let them go? Why should you be digging to find a case, hoping that you find a case where there's no case? So this all goes back to what we told you in the beginning, Zach. The president's pronouncements are extremely good. The implementation is something different to what he says. And this is what is leading to people to start saying, Councilman's overfeeing. We have seen even CR1 coming up saying, it's Naruvian. So it's people like that that are bringing this elevated up agenda. And it has got nothing to do with PF members or PF leadership. Believe me, because we have leaders that will also believe that but we cannot overrule the collective wisdom of the majority citizen.
Let me at this point, I've got a message here from Liswaniso's team that are basically saying Liswaniso is unwell, unfortunately, and he should have been here with us. He was supposed to be part of the panel, and I know that he is just come from the tour of Western province, and I think that must have got him his toll on him. And so thank you very much for communicating to us, and thank you very much also for allowing us to have this conversation, because obviously to you, let me get to Chanoda. I mean, let's discuss the political environment in this country. I know that Max is just from bringing up an issue of there was a time political or patriotic front youths would show off the money, and this show off the money, show off the wealth, and Max, you were one of them. And when that happened, it was the people that felt that only the few are enjoying life in that regime. Only those that were close to the powers that were enjoyed life. And this became an issue also. And this president has emphasized, even in the audio that we listened to yesterday, has emphasized that he is not here to give jobs or favor any relatives or friends, but he's here to be a leader of them all. And he has actually told the UPND leaders or members to say if their expectations are that now that he is a president, then they were going to get favors from him. It's not the case. But your regime was known to be that. The closer you were to the powers that be, the better your life was. And evidently you showed us, Max.
Yes, I think it was unfair for you to direct that question to Chanoda. It should come to me, because it was me.
Sure.
Now let me tell you, there is some history that people don't know about Maxwell Chongu. The current bodyguard to the president, when he was building his house, he used to stop over my shop.
You mean the president?
Yes, President Akainde Hichilema.
Yeah.
The current bodyguard now,
yes,
the ADC, he knows me very well. He knows that this guy has been working even before PF formed government. For your own information, there was no granddaddies in Avondo area. There was no keg. There was nothing. There was just the Crow, which was run by Stadi Mwale, the nightclub. And the other nightclub was mine, called Big Brother Sports Cafe. That was in 2008, 2009. PF was not in power. My second competitor was in Garden, Cockpit, at Big Brother 2 in Garden. PF was not in power in 2009. I had Big Brother Fashions right opposite Rumumba bus station, upstairs building. PF was not in power. I had the first ever bar at Chris Moore along the road, as if you're going to Ngwira. That's where the current ADC to the president, Sharper, would stop over and drink from. That was before PF formed government. I had a running car business in Katunjira. You can go and ask people there.
I remember that.
You remember, yes.
And at North Mid as well?
Yes, that was before PF formed government. North Mid, I was amongst the first to start trading from there. That was before PF formed government. Now, that behavior, I'm not trying to justify it. That was wrong. That was childish. In that I was getting money from the government. I have never done business with the government. And from the time President Lungu was elected in 2014-2015 presidential by-elections, there was no day I've ever been to State House to say Ndero Mbako business on Ndero Mbako Shine, nothing. And there is no minister today or a permanent secretary that will come and say, no, Max, to Arimopera business. And no, I've always believed in hard work. I've always been, you know, that we used to call each other hustlers in my town. I've always believed in hard work. And most of my businesses that I was doing were with the private sector and not the government. If you follow my track record, you'll find that maybe in government, the only business I did was probably first month. You understand? So my show off is not to be justified. That was a careless stance. And I think it's one of the reasons I went on sabbatical leave together with the Docker's mother uniform.
Yes.
So that I could reflect, because it was eating me up and I should come out a better person. And if I know that could have angered people because they thought Max would go to a minister to get money, Max would go to this and get money. No, I never. I laugh when I see UPND members crying to say, no, we supported the party because we loved it genuinely. I don't think even my brother, actually he was found with ministers more than me. So if we're getting free things by now, we could have maybe had even a shopping mall. You understand? We supported the ideologies because we believed in the ideologies of proper policies. You understand? So that behavior was uncalled for. I agree. And I'm not going to run away from it. It came at the wrong time. But that does not mean that I was getting money from the government, because I'd already started working and I've given you history to say this is what I did and before even PF formed government.
Interesting.
Yeah, just to chip in, and I'm happy that indeed that question of flashing money and all that was wrongly asked to me. But even if it was to be asked to me,
because there were also other youths other than Max.
Yes,
there were many other youths that also did it
yes,
carelessly.
I was going to say exactly what Max has just said. To say, number one, the issue of flashing money and playing with it around, that was quite unfortunate. And just like himself has said, he regrets. And I'm sure many other youths are regretting out there. However, to accuse a party affiliate who is flashing money based on their flashing money, that they were getting money, or more like when the Bank of Zambia, when the tapa chape, then you start. It's not possible. Happen. It doesn't happen like that. All right. We were, yes, we're close to some of the ministers. I don't want to start mentioning names here. Trust you me, I think I've worked with one of the best ministries, if you were to ask me. All right. I was close to one of the ministers that was manning a very big ministry, that is infrastructure and housing. He started that. And by now, Zach, I think you could have been even calling me, Ngwira, if you were a doula, if you were buying at 30 kwacha, nifunako 300 liters. I will just tell you, Zach enda pamoya ngaija, ilikuwa vondeo, who's a manager kupase drum. If there was that carelessness. Suffering together with our colleagues in the UPND. I'll give you a very, 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 very categorical answer to issues of saying, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, His Excellency, has said, I do not want to give jobs based on patronage. Kawana is based on patronage. What qualifications? What makes him to be the permanent secretary? I'm not against him being appointed, because there's no law that stops him, the president, to appoint anybody. But it's a practical matter that guy was a media director of an alliance. So that is based on patronage. I am a trade unionist myself. My entire years of public service, I've been a trade unionist. Of course, starting from Grain and Meat Workers Union of Zambia, I went to the Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, where I acted as the coordinator for Lusaka province. Then I went to the Zambia Union of Government and Allied Workers, which is one of the biggest unions now. I was the first director in charge of recruitment. Institutional memory is very important, Zach. It's like here. For instance, there's a vacance for a CEO. Why should they bring in Chanoda when Zach you're here? You know what happens here. So, in public service, there is a lot of patronage in terms of appointments. We have got from Chereka. Chereka is a politician. Brought him in public service. They just appointed permanent secretary, Minister of Energy. He's a non-cadre for the UPND. So, let the president not bite himself. We appreciate that politics in Africa is largely on patronage.
We never know you musician in
Pirato. Maybe Pirato would have said no, maybe he was not directly, but you saw the songs that he could sing, which are unfortunately now working against the same regime that is supporting. So let's not run away from the fact. He's actually
one of the pioneers of Arebe,
yes,
because they're using his song.
Yes. Now, the issue, I want to talk about the issue of monies and all that. Yes, much as my brothers like Max were doing wrong things, but at least and the money was in circulation. I don't think, Zach, the time that you saw Maxi, but I don't know if you have ever flashed money. The only time that I remember was telling people, encouraging them that
I've never flashed money.
TV room. You got, yes, because of his politically exposed stance in society, opposition in society, that was wrong. But basically, he was simply telling people that this is what it is. That day, now this I'm to phone. Boy, congratulations for those achievements. Ndero mbako 20. Alisa antumina 15 pin. And there 15 pin na pera kokachunga ni manani. There is money in circulation. But as we speak now, even Liswaniso doesn't have money to give to anybody. There is no simple. The PF policy, the PF policy when it comes to contractors, I'll be very emphatic on this. PF was at least trying to pay contractors. Whether someone is UPND, whether someone is supporting what. A good example, sorry to say this, my brother, I'm sorry if you're watching. Honorable Bonzov, he was one of the contractors under the PF, and he was being paid. At some point, we even went to inspect the toll gate that he was doing at, is it?
Manyumbi?
Yes, Manyumbi.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there were certain things that technically knocked him out. We know so many people that were supporting UPND that were getting business in the PF government, because governance is about continuity. I want to emphasize on this. Leave the public service alone. Do your politics. When it comes to failing to implement the desires of a political party, then you can hammer them. But not a situation where you want to literally be involved in the governance in terms of paying contractors and all that. How many millions of kwacha that are accumulating interest do we have now? Many contractors are just watching, including Max. Though Maxi, I'm not aware if at all he did some business with government directly or whatever.
No.
I'm not aware, but it's just an example that I can give. At least, even if he gets offended, he won't beat me because he's my friend. And besides, he has repented.
let me at this point start inviting our callers. But let me also emphasize that our guest this morning, before you come in, our guest this morning is Chanoda Ngwira, who is the Patriotic Front member and youth leader, and Maxwell Chongu, politician coming back from sabbatical leave. And we will also be taking your calls. Remember, another guest we should have had in the studio this morning is Gilbert Liswaniso, the UPND National Youth Chairperson. We just got a report a while ago that he is unwell. And so we decided that we will continue with the program as is. I will be taking phone calls shortly, but your quick addition that you wanted to make.
I think my addition was but I know this is strange, but the president Hakainde Hichilema should also accept that is the Republican president, is the president of plus minus 20 million Zambians, and not only UPND president. And as such, there are certain sentiments that can come even from the opposition or other political activists that could be good in the interest of our nation in terms of developing it. I believe they should have an open door policy, which will help them get views from outside and implement them, and not just rubbishing everything that is coming from the opposition or other political activists. Secondly, I feel, even in PF, I used to say this, I feel for the problems that most of our youths, or I would say grassroots, are facing today in our country, even before New Dawn came in power, is as a result of lack of direct link between the president and the grassroots. The president should come up with an office of youth director at State House there, because most of these people in party positions, they are telling you lies. They are protecting their positions. They are championing their personal agendas. As a result, many people on the ground, there is nothing that is happening. Today, UPND is at its weakest point in Lusaka province, Copper Belt province, when it comes to the grassroots, or youth, so to speak. So it is up to him to start now opening up his doors and listen from what other people are able to bring forward. Remember, the late President Levi Patrick Monowasa would listen to what others are saying and implement those. Because the New Dawn administration has never been a grassroots party. It's a corporate kind of arrangement. The grassroots went in numbers because of what they were promised. But now, after realizing that this is not happening, and with the current high cost of living, which has triggered commodity prices and this and that, believe you me, they need another formula. And the only formula is to close up the gap between the leadership and the grassroots. And the only way they can close up that gap is to open up a youth desk at State House, so that the president is in direct contact with what is happening to his people on the ground. If his own members, his own youths are complaining like that on a daily basis, what about Zambians?
Now, just to add on,
under a minute.
Yes. Yeah. The other gap that we've seen in the UPND is the gap of communication. There is literally no communication between government and their political party, as well as the Zambian people. Because there are three things here: government, the political party, and the people. Government must communicate to the party that this is what we have achieved, so that politically the party takes care of that. However, there's a big gap. Maybe now that there's Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa, people will be told what they've achieved. All we hear about Mwetwa talking about is the issue of PF did this, PF
No
did
special package.
There is nothing that they're communicating to the Zambian people. There is a total vacuum. And I asked him, I wish Comrade Liswaniso was here. I would have told him, I'm available. Hire me as a consultant to help bridge the gap in terms of communication, because people need to know what is happening. They could have done certain things, but because they have not communicated to the people, it is very difficult to know. So people are getting information by what they come across, like expensive minimum, expensive fuel, and expensive fertilizer. But what they have done, certain things in terms of policy direction, they don't know. Urutoshi, Narudura. That's the only thing that people know. So Honorable Mwetwa has got a very serious duty to do, communicate to the people what this government. Stop talking about Edgar Lungu, PF, IBEX, and other. Mure mupanga fya umuntu. Umwina arefo kushita retire, but you keep on mentioning him. You keep on mentioning him. Even like I said, the woman, you keep on mentioning the former husband. When you know that the current husband is not doing so well, you keep on mentioning the former husband. Akawera. I'm not saying that, but what I'm trying to say is it's just an advice, Max. It's just an advice.
Let's take phone calls now on 0955-221515, and I'll take your messages on 0761-912493. Once again, the messages are directed to 0761-912493. Both SMSs are welcome on that line. But for your phone calls, it's 0955-221515. I've also got a couple of messages on our Facebook page. We'll be reading them out pretty soon. Let's take this. Now, kabwina mwakabwanje. Zinati vandani mutumira kuti.
Vani vachikuvave siri vatumira within Lusaka.
Chikuvave, please go ahead, sir.
Vaona lebo mligwanji.
Tiri apa matumira ku 5 FM radio burning issue guest watu ni wa Chanoda Ngwira and Maxwell Chongu.
Chanoda mulimakora mdala hivi.
Nilimakora sibweni mrudi.
Nilimakora mdala tizakara naye mu Chasefu constituency.
Amen.
I'm going to support you mdala. You're speaking very well. Try by all means to advise this government wa Chanoda. When election come, just call me. We go together to Chasefu constituency. We campaign until we put you in the office. I'm sure you know the challenges which Chasefu constituency are facing there.
Yes.
In terms of agriculture sector, the government has failed to give the fertilizer to the farmers. I'm sure you know the separate depots for you to go and sell the maize. It takes over 2 kilometers for you. This government of UPND, they find the separate depots, which was very, very near. For you, it was very easy for you at Chanoda in Chasefu constituency to go and sell your maize. But look at today. It's very, very difficult. Look at the infrastructure which is the Patriotic had left in Chasefu constituency, which they were mocking 1.7 million, which they were giving a CDF, but you did very well with Chasefu constituency. So I'm behind you. Just call me. We are going together. We are going to flat out. We are going to organize in that constituency.
Thank
you.
You.
This government of UPND, I'm sure they have got a new agenda to run in this country. We thought that they have got the policy when they were speaking that this bag of minimum you are buying at 115 what is expensive. When they just come into power, it will be 50 kwacha. We were waiting the calculator of our president to show us what is the policy direction which they had as the UPND. But until today, this government is the one which is driving this. Now we wanted to know the calculator with our president. For that fuel which he was complaining that it is 17 kwacha is expensive. But today it is the same question. So try by all means to help these people. Let them listen. When you are speaking like this, it doesn't mean that we hate UPND. No. We are just advising them that let them go back to the drawing board and tell the policy direction where are we heading to as a country. There are so many challenges which people are facing. This so-called 230 minimum is not a solution. If they are subsidizing those maize and give it to ZLA, Why can't you just observe all the maize and fly it to this private company, the millers, so that the price of this meeting can be helpful? Thank you very much, Chanoda.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Let me take a message from Joseph Nsando on Facebook. Says, good morning, 5FM. Greetings to the guests, my fellow youths there. I love how the youth blood is circulating, or rather articulating issues, pardon me. To be honest with you, PF coming back to power, the chances are quite slim. The only opposition party I can give an ear to is the Socialist Party. But PF, you guys, you just don't know that people are still in pain. Some people's hearts are still bleeding. You guys messed up our country, and you don't even have shame. Because, I mean, always I respect the people who still want you back. It's their right and choice. However, not everyone wants you back. Stick that fact in your heads, PF. Otherwise, I'm enjoying I'm enjoying the discussion there. Democracy is thriving as it accommodating different views. Thanks, Zach, and thanks to His Excellency HH. So that's one message that I would like you to take note of. But let me give you one more call. Good morning. Nauka bwino mauka bwanje.
Ngwira na Maxwell makabanje.
Bwana Mauka.
Bwana Mulibwanje.
Oswald chipata overspill.
Oswald chipata overspill. Yes, Oswald.
Abangwira mkama musha Maxwell, mkama musha na nini nga. Ngara, I think balati try problems yonse and my youth amene. Na mauti usina blame. Wana maboza kibili zankala muchi. Ngara life yokosa mkombo. Yokosa mpeze kati ngatunga hapa madozi lese madozi ataki siko someza kutumugureo my nchini kunkhala kwa bwanje kwa president wa mili waendela pani 55 tweets no investa wanabwera kukatala Ngwira mulikuwa na idea lisa nabwera
I wish Liswaniso enzepo
I think rusina kwa fuko yanga kwa president wa lango enda no investa alienzi no kubela mishiki wa shiki kala Ngwira wangali Liswaniso bakutayeka ndrama makajazi yao yalira Liswaniso oreja kanita ana maina singa pala wananka bani maina
Oswald, let's respond to some of those messages that you think you can quickly respond. Max.
Okay, the first one, I think my brother would take it up because I believe he talked more about even where he's supposed to stand. I can only maybe pick one or two things. He's talked about exactly what we said, and that was infrastructure development, late delivery of fertilizer, and he's talked about minimum price, because that they were promised that it's supposed to be at 50, it's now 2 something. You see, that's why it's you see, this issue of just giving ZNS subsidized maize so that they can put minimum at 240, or is it to what?
230. 230,
it's disadvantage. It's bringing more problems in future. To start with, it's also disadvantaging local millers, traders. The best with this would have been to go into what I would call a tripartite maize distribution program, which could have allowed millers countrywide in all the districts to access subsidized maize from FRA pricing of minimum at the same level. It has happened before. Under PF, it happened. And this tripartite maize distribution program, it's about FRA, grain dealers, and millers. But now giving it to ZNS and then you're taking it to ShopRite, politically you are knocking yourself out, because the Zambian people say mushovu teko wabashani ama po ya mzesko wapira wa Zimbabwe maini ili nabasungu no bunga nomba ni ShopRite. You get my point, and that's where the problem starts from. For me, that's what I think. Politically, if I was one of the advisors to the president, I would have said the best would have been, let's go. FRA there is Kelvin Mkosai. Mukosai is very much aware about this tripartite maize distribution program. I don't know why they had to go the other direction when this program is already there on paper. You understand? The other one also is talking about cost of living. Of course, even in the beginning, I said it. It's something we even sympathize with the new Dawn administration. It's not only Zambia that is experiencing that. But the only challenge that we have with the new Dawn administration is what are they doing in terms of home? And in this case, in my view, I think the solutions are in the mining sector and the agriculture sector. New Dawn should have made agriculture a business. New Dawn should have made agriculture attractive by ensuring that there are linkages that are created by government which will enable farmers to easily access loans, increasing the number of extension officers, you know, crop failure, make it a business that will attract people to venture into it. Mostly these same cooperatives that you're doing.
Attracting the agricultural sector, I think that's what this government is doing. I mean, they've made a price of maize attractive, meaning that if you are going to sell a bag of maize at 280, you have that is reason enough why you should go into maize production. So they are making it attractive.
What is the cost of production of that same maize, which is at 20?
And now they are they have pushed an agenda of making sure that fertilizer, which is agriculture inputs, to be manufactured locally, and they are and we are seeing that the price of fertilizer, for example, has gone down.
You see, when you make fertilizer affordable,
right,
or you put a good price on the bag of meal, and the people that are into farming, you have not sent what do they call them, agriculture extension officers,
yes,
to go and educate the people. That will even make sense. It won't. So it starts from there. Then after that, now we can come to that. And then lastly, let us now start processing those things into finished products. We want to see cornflakes, shani, fidefuma. That will attract an influx of forex in our country. You know, equipment, maybe agriculture equipment. That way, yes, I agree. Mining sector. Well, I know this is something that many UPND people would never want to entertain. World over, even Russia, Ali Monata, I think Fiakosa, go to India. India today, you find that they have actually even stopped exporting onion and sugar, if I'm not mistaken. So most of these countries, they've realized that the solutions are in their country and not outside the borders of their country. Till today, tumaba kanyangu mama ketu kupinda ule shama vegetable no ka 20 kwacha levy, our local businessmen putting pressure on them, and yet the Wazungus have been given tax holidays. How much money are we using from the mining sector in terms of tax holidays as compared to the pressure we are putting on Zambians? Recently, if I'm not mistaken, the report indicated that ZRI undercorrected. You see? So the homegrown solution is in the resources that we have. Why are we not utilizing them? Why are we finding it difficult to utilize them? Yes, I know, I understand fully that they are contracts, but even in a contract where safe into close at force measure, why not evoke it and say, look, we are getting back on the table and let's do this and that. We saw, I think in Botswana, it happened over the pricing of gold. So the solutions are here. If we keep on waiting for IMF, it will be worse than this, Vazak. Imagine a situation where millers decide to say, okay, we're not going to offload our meal on the market. We'll wait until ZNS is limping. What will happen to this country? So let us look at homegrown solution and not only focus on the IMF package, because we are going to be in a very, very awkward situation. We have seen it happening to the guy to Ghana. Then on the last message, I want to be very, very clear with our colleague who sent us that text message.
Yes, Joseph.
Zambia is a democratic country, and everybody has got the right to give an opinion. The same way he's giving an opinion, others would give different opinions that are against what he's saying and probably in support with the party, you know. And I don't think his opinion has to be more superior than other people's opinion. So we appreciate the comment that he has said that it's a good discussion, but we also want him to appreciate other people's opinion, because he cannot speak on behalf of plus minus Zambians, 19 million Zambians.
Chanoda, you need to react to those calls as well, quickly.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Mr. Chikubabe Piri for...
Are you aspiring?
Yes, I'm standing in. I'm not aspiring. I'm standing in 2026.
Okay.
In Joseph constituency.
Awesome.
I don't want to discuss my brother, Honorable Nyambose, because that's not the discussion here, but how I wish you could maybe invite us, the two of us, at some point where we can, talk about Joseph generally.
Indeed.
So I'm not going to say much about the issue of Joseph and all that, but I appreciate the recommendation. Indeed, my brother, we are going there, and we'll get to give the people of Chasefu leadership that is, desirable. Coming to issues of fertilizers, as we speak now, Mvula Yayamba, the question is, how many, in how many provinces, and in how many districts? What is causing all these crises of shortage of expensive millimil and all that? It has nothing to do with whatever semantics people are talking about. We have to have a policy where we prepare ourselves. Because even in Munyumba, you can't, you need to plan. The best solution is let Mtoro and sit with his very good friend, Mr. Haka in the HTM, let them, one, improve on FISIP. Let them, two, improve on the price of of fertilizer, just like they promised. Because if a farmer has, cultivated enough maize, Zach, you and me will have a valuable resource for our minimum. And the millers will not depend on FRA. They can even actually buy themselves. Even government will have enough stock. Can you look at the tons that the Patriotic Front left in terms of, reserves? You're talking of, good tons of maize. Where are we now? And even this issue of ZNS, at Nova ZNS, they will keep on reducing. It's a lie. With which maize? We don't have a bump harvest. So, was I using Mchanga to go and process? Sorry, I'm trying to be very categorical. My brother is still almost on sabbatical leave, but me, I've never been, and I'll never be. So I have to tell this government so that tomorrow when I become a leader, I find a better country. Which maize are they going to use? To in Chongu. Production has stopped because there's no maize. Trucks are going to Superior Milling as we speak now to go and pick minimi. Vama pereka masaka branded ZNS ku Superior Milling to go and put bunga muja to pretend. We cannot continue. Kuchoma. People are lining up as L as 6. As L as 01, just looking for that so-called cheap commodity. And how come they have jumped from 175 or 180 something to 230? What's happening? 240. What's happening? This issue of, I'm not against the ShopRite, but this issue of wanting to empower these foreign entities at the expense of Kashop, Kaminalina Komax, Kashop, why can't they say Zach and Sons, Tikule Tera Ungauri 100, you buy and you get something on top of that. So these are the things that we are talking about. Infrastructure development. I'll be honest with you. PF did not borrow for consumption, to pay salaries, to pay Venataukawana. Getting money to go and pay Taukawana, to pay Peter Mumba, to pay Mchereka, and all these other cadres that in the public service. No, PF borrowed because they wanted to create a base, a foundation, and that is in terms of infrastructure development. There is no investor that will come in a country where there are no roads, where there are no school infrastructures, where there are no health infrastructure. No, it's not possible. Coming to, I've already talked about the ZNS minimum. This ZNS minimum, Zaki, what do we call that growth? When you hate yourself, then chabura chavimba. That is what is happening. Vaturura chituruturu. Is it chipute? Yeah, chipute. Vaturura chipute without plan. Chankara chironda manchi.
Let's
understand.
Yes.
Then lastly, I want to tell this guy Wapa Facebook who is saying that PF cannot come back. Wait, my brother. The Zambians are very upset. It's not about PF. It's about the Zambian people. the most or the biggest opposition to the UPND is not PF. It's not Socialist Party. It's not whatever. And I can assure him that he will swallow his words, because maybe at some point the Zambians will just command these political parties that come together and remove this government that has brought life hard in the compounds. Oswald, thank you so much. Life is really hard. Even Isaac in Amona, did you have anything in the morning?
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. At least I've survived governments, you know what I mean?
Yes, that one, yes, I know.
So let's talk on the issue of CDF. I need to pick up a few more calls, but CDF is a big flagship for the party in power, UPND, and it keeps increasing, because then they believe that this is a way of decentralizing. This is the way of sending money back to the people and away from central government, where money was usually abused and so on. So CDF is big on this. How has it impacted lives in the communities? You, obviously, the fact that, Max, you were on sabbatical leave, you must have obviously taken time to just see how CDF is getting impactful on the ground.
You see, CDF, for me, it is a very good strategy and idea for the New Dawn administration.
Okay.
But in as much as they want to claim to say it's a game changer, it has always been a game changer. Even at the time it was at 1.6, depending on the implementation.
Yeah.
Today we have got a challenge where CDF has been talked about, but I want members of parliament from the New Dawn administration to tell me exactly how much each member of parliament has received from this CDF, which is now on what, 28 million kwacha?
It's actually at
almost. It's actually
and you
30
see,
now.
being one of those that would want to contest, and we will contest in Kafue, it gives me a lot of questions than answers, in the sense that I am the one who's going to stand on that podium. When you vote for me, then you've got the CDF fund that is given to somebody at Chairman Banji. You understand? So my message to the people, and the way I would want Kafue to look like economically, is different from what that committee wants. You understand? I was seeing people before anything could have.
But
been,
also, it's not about you.
It's not about
It's not
me,
about
it's
the
about
member
the
of
people.
parliament. It's about the people, and the people are suggesting what they want.
It's about the people.
Right.
When we are going out to campaign, the people, they will tell us what they want. And that is why the member of parliament is a representative of those people in that particular constituency.
Right.
So now, if what people told you and agreed, and you agreed and they gave you the mandate, then something else is being done, then there will be a problem. You don't go using CDF and start buying vehicles that, no, you're inspect. What are you inspecting? You understand? There are certain priorities. For example, I'll tell you, Kafue is just 45 kilometers from Lusaka. Same with Chongu and Lusaka. Today, Chongu looks more developed than Kafue. Do you know why? Because the area is closed up, yet Kafue has got more resources than Chongu. Today, people talk about Lower Zambezi. Do you know where Lower Zambezi is? It's in Kafue constituency, Chiawa district. You know, today people talk about fish is coming from Kafue River. There are so many things that can be done, but the area is locked up. So now, in an event that you need to put a road from Kafue Estate or Kafue Town to Chanyanya, so that those farming blocks can be brought closer to town, you go and buy an ambulance, a supervising vehicle, whatever it is, which does not even make sense. So to me, when I start seeing some of these things, I look at it like it is just a conduit that is going to be used to empower cadres or party sympathizers.
CDF?
Yeah, somehow, yes. The intention was good. The packaging is good, absolutely perfect. But the implementation is what I'm questioning. And the way it's being handled, it's what I'm questioning. Because if I'm not mistaken, despite hearing figures like 28 million kwacha, I think they've only been given, is it 6 million or 7 million? So what are we talking about? You understand? When you go on the ground, who are those people? Laura, is it Laura Muti?
Laura
Miti. I think she had posted an article to say, who are those people that are getting those contracts? You understand? So if it can be done genuinely, the way maybe the president thought, then it will be a game changer for real. But if it's going to be used as a vehicle to empower cadres or party sympathizers, then it will be useless. And I can tell you, most of the members of parliament won't even come back. Because people will be looking at the president wanted to pay a CDF in the but you whatever. You tell me, Zach, what has CDF done in Mazabuka? What has CDF done in Monze Central? What has CDF done in Choma Central? I don't want to go to the Northern Bloc. I don't want to go to Eastern Bloc. I have given you examples here, and those names I've picked, those constituencies are for old timers. Whenever UPND, what has it done? Go to Mazabuka and come and tell me what it has done there. Go to Monze Central, come and tell me what it has done. Go to Choma Central, come and tell me what it has done. What we see on Facebook is to my desk and what. People are just posting to be seen. On the ground, there's literally nothing. You go to, I don't want to mention Kafue because you're going to interest, coach. You understand?
No, me or mention yourself.
So maybe perhaps next time you invite people that are aspiring in that area with the current member of parliament, and then we can discuss about CDF. But for me, I will tell you, Zach, for free, it's a good idea, good initiative, perfect figure. But the implementation process, I am worried with it.
Let me take a few more calls. Good morning.
Morning after. How are you?
How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Lukulu on the line.
Yes, Lukulu.
Thank you very much, Mark and Senator Ngwira. How are you?
Yes.
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm okay. First and foremost, you people there, you're just politicking. And these are the things that that's why we're not developing this country. We like politicking for nothing at all. You want to compare the UPND government for 2 years with you for that have been government for 10 years. Is that going to make sense to you? First and foremost, the CDF used to be 1.5. What were you doing? Okay? And what was happening? There was nothing. Today, the CDF, we're talking about 30 million plus. What's it doing? Have you done your research? Because when you come, there should come with the proof, the fact of what's happening. The CDF is doing wonders in this area. It's employing people in the desks being supplied. The locals are making those desks. It's not a good thing. Okay? According to you, it's nothing. There's a lot of schools which are being built because there's a lot of people which are getting to school after the free education policy which is being implemented. For you, it's nothing. What were you doing yourself? So let us be serious when we talk about these matters. And the UPND has got 5 years mandate. Today we're talking about people are crying about minimum prices. The president work on it. He has now worked. You are blaming, no, how come? What do you want? Someone has been just there for 2 years. If I ask you a question, you go to wherever, maybe I can say the arcade, the way it is, or ShopRite, where Manda is. Go and demolish the Manda. The amount of time that you demolish Manda, you build it more years. So you demolish this country, Zambia. The economy was something else. So this UPND government trying to rebuild it, it takes some time. Then you are criticizing. You are even laughing at them. You are not being sincere. So let us be serious when we talk about this matter.
Thank you.
Okay? Want to stand you can't and you are saying people of Zambia who want to come back. We searched him out, that's all. It's UPF members who want him back. Don't try to ask the answers as the Zambian that we need him. No. He caused a lot of interest. Today his colleague, Dr. Kande is struggling because of him. And you're reckless the way you run this country. So be sincere and be factual when you are coming there. Because you are talking to people who are mature, who are able to follow these things, who have been in politics for some time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lukulu there. I've got Boniface on Facebook who says, good morning, Mwantungulushi. I'm following you via Ballaston, Max and Ngwira. Can you kindly comment on the issue of giving a ShopRite contract for selling our own Ubunga? I think we've commented on this one already. And what about local people? So, and I think you've mentioned this. But it goes on to say they thought running government Yadiba easy. But Max, thanks for your repentance and good day, guys. So I also need to take another call quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
This is Zach, and welcome to the Burning Issue on 5 FM. Your name and where you calling us from?
This is Bomusanje.
Bomusanje.
Tanita Ngwira mwauka.
Kauka bwino muri kamwamba?
Yeah, tuli kabotu.
Warumba mdala.
Maxi mwauka bwanji.
Tulivyo kabotu muri buti.
Tuli kabotu mnyama. I think hiyo ambili za kuongani kuti mugwanisa kufika ku radio. Kwero kamba vamene vili kumutima kwanu. Ndio wamene ifunika kunkalira ziko ya mtendere. Ibuwa mtaimu yanu tauzi na sembe kapena hapo mawindo wapanya kutara. Sembe banja hapo bali kuru yamene yembekezera kuti akachoka uya zapitira kuti. Na oenda wamene kuredio yaenda na grupu ya kuti alichingirire. Aziko ano mwenda mweka mukachoka kwa hapo pa na kanjira kanu. Jeje manaje nalenga kuti tucherere tikapote. Yeah. I think for me, munambira kutuza kuti you want to rebrand. I don't know kuti mwafika pati la rebranding yani. Chifukwa niona munga muibala musanga. Mukabwera kuvigaya vamene munasiya evi vamene vanamanga kuti yani vapiye vanamanga. You don't want to appreciate what you UPND vavisevenzesa. Can you tell the nation kuti imwe vigaya vamene munavimangira vinali what was the essence of kupimanga? If it was not kugaya unga or pasa vantu ochipa. Huh? During PF rain, muibala musanga. That's why nakamba kuti I don't think you have huge wa muibala musanga. During PF, munali kupasa pa Africa meeting. Pa Africa meeting unga ochipa. Munali kupereka kuti. Siku mashoplight vamene munali kufaka pa bomba nsambo pa madogo imira kuyamba kumenya vantu. So I don't know why you easily forget. I think you still have got time. You go and heal. Pakuti muoneko vamene vifunika kuchipika. Mulungu azikudalisani. Timafuna ma views. This is new dawn. See government yoenda jabe uisusha. Pangani ya unga ya mene mugamba kuti we don't see next year unga uzadula. Vanakuuza ni one. Panaona kuti fisipu vantu vali 1 million ni vantu vangono. Feeding 20 million people. Ni vantu vangono mani. Next they continued. But they said vazambo pasa vantu maroni. Pakuti mulime chimanga chambiri vintu vichipe. Si vichipa chabi monga mvula kuti mbwe vagwa. Ni kulima marume.
Zikoma.
On top of that, mwende pamene apa pa pensions ya mwone vantu vamene vaita apply ma settlement schemes. How many are there? That is the way to go. Not to kusunga jabe njoka na magogo di musanga umuzidie zipanga nyumba. Ni kulima.
Zikoma.
Kulima. Iwamene makamaka no Chanoda vile wamene wenda ukulima. Uziwe kuti kulima ndiye chintu chofunika. Osa enda jado kujaudia. Isakule turani ndegesiwa za kupotera. Method yo lima bantu balime.
Zikoma.
Abayizi mulungu azikudalisani.
Wamunsanje always a pleasure.
Gai bose mufuna mukankale makandidate but mumutu bima chwani. Mwenda mu rural areas. Ziko mulungu azikudalisani.
Yeah, Wamunsanje Zikoma. Always a pleasure to have you, Wamunsanje. Now, time is not on our side. We respond quickly as short as you can, and then we conclude.
Okay, I'll just take is it Mr. Lukulu? Then the other one.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, I think Mr. Lukulu missed our discussion because from the onset, I don't think we have rubbished the projects that UPND has done, but we have said they can do better. Okay, and we expect more on certain issues. So for him to come out like that, he was, I think he could have been using emotions, and instead of listening to what exactly we're talking about. I don't believe that we rubbished the CDF. We said even at the time it was 1.6, it was also a game changer depending on the implementation. And we are hoping that the implementation will be worked out because we've seen a lot of members of parliament complaining about it. So it's very wise for Mr. Lukulu to listen to the views of the people because it also goes back to what I said in the beginning, that the biggest challenge that UPND has is they believe to say, no, there's a parade, it is not supposed to be like that. It is about, there's a parade, so that that's the way it's supposed to be. Because coming out the way Mr. Lukulu is coming out, that is what is igniting the agenda. Because now people are saying, what can be
Yeah, quickly.
Yes.
CDF has done a lot of schools. The question is where? That is my question. Where? And which CDF? Because this CDF, to access it, in the first place, you don't access something that is not there. How much? It started that, is it 25,000? Is it 25 million? How much did the constituencies get? It went to 28. How much have they gotten? Now it is at 30 million. How much? Have they gotten? Less than 10 million each. So bakalina nkongole wa government kupasa abantu za CDF. And again, the problem that is there is that in this budget so far, there are no capital projects. They are all dependent on CDF. He is a contract. Max, how many roads can you do? Bituminous standard, only 30 million. How many kilometers of a road is that? How many hospitals can you make in one? This issue of no, they are bringing PPP. How can you do Lundazi Chasefu? I mean, Lundazi Chama Road, where Chasefu, most of it is covered using PPP. Which business person can say, no, we will do a PPP and I will expect to get money from there? How possible is that? Roads on PPP are supposed to be viable so that the person that is putting in their money is supposed to at least benefit in one way or the other. Then they are saying that the economy or something else. I want to agree with him. The economy under PF was very bad. It was extremely bad. I agree. The badness of the economy is that we are getting mirimiwati less than 200. It was very bad. We were getting fuel at 17 kwacha per liter. It was very bad. Farmers were getting fertilizer at about 600,000 kwacha per bag. But now, under a good economy, they are getting it at 1,200 and above. Under a very good economy, compared to the bad economy, they are getting fuel at 30 kwacha, when us it was at 17 kwacha. There's exchange rate. We were below 20 as we are leaving government. And the entire Minister of Finance had to lie that no, they left it at 23 kwacha per dollar. That's a lie. So yes, I agree with him. The economy was very bad. Very bad. Such that Zambians were affording to at least have 3 meals in a day. Apamanje even Mamsanji. He is just waiting for maybe 14 hours or 15 hours to eat both lunch and supper. Because they have to keep the mini meal. People are just affording 5 kg of mini meal. And they are eating maybe once in Sima. Mazuro wagonera kandolo. Because they have to keep the commodity. What we can advise, as I conclude, is by UPND, learn to listen. The stubbornness that kicked PF out of power is unfortunately doubled under this regime. They don't want to listen. It's like a supporter of a prophet. You can't advise me anything. I don't listen. This is what exactly UPND is doing. They weighed it up. It's not about Lungu or PF. It is about the problems that the Zambian people are going through. This CDF at 1.6 million, it did a lot of infrastructure. We are just, we can't talk about levy. No, this is no. But let's talk about the hospitals. Let's talk about the mini hospitals, Chilenje Level 1 Hospital, Matero Level 1 Hospital, just here in Lusaka. Mwamene muno mu Lusaka. Let's talk about the road infrastructures. The Kafue Mazabuka Road, when CDF was at 1.6 million. Apa ilipa 30 million. So anamangepo na toilet kuchasifu. These are facts. Apa now, the State House, members of parliament and councillors, wamenyana kufuna tindana zachita commission boho. This is what is happening. There are no activities under the 30 million kwacha CDF. So like we are saying, our campaign will be very simple. For those that are standing, because that is what the Minister of Finance has said, to say no, the monies are there. So no, that's why development. My members of parliament in problems. There is no money in their account.
So are you both declaring that 2026 you two are standing Max and Kafue and Chasefu for you, Chanoda?
Absolutely. We are standing. This one, I can tell you, in 2026, I'll be on a ballot, adopted or not.
But what makes you believe that we can stand? We are standing. And we are winning. We are not only standing.
We are not
winning.
just standing, we are winning. Sir, this CDF has brought
Even
problems.
in 2021, if I stood in curfew as independent member of parliament, I was going to win. And I'm winning.
So it's on.
It's on. And we want to invite 5FM to please, let's work together for the development of the people of Chasef and Kafue. We are here offering ourselves. As media, you need to, disseminate the information.
We have always been here for everyone.
We know.
And we will be there for you. And I'd like
somebody talked about the issue of rebranding. I know time has gone.
Yeah.
We are doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are doing very well. We've done the constitution draft, which the Central Committee has approved. Now we are going to go to the Constitutional Conference to go and adopt and approve or ratify the Constitution. That Constitution embraces everything that has to do with rebranding. And as you can see, our rebranding is going on well. That is the reason why our colleagues in the UPND keep on talking about PF this, PF that. Mukazi ukamkwatira, forget about the former husband or the former wife or the former whatever. Talk about what you can offer. Not yai, wenzo chitai, chenzo chitai. Zach, I cannot be doing the wrong thing because my other person or the other former person was doing the wrong thing. This is what exactly the UPND is doing. No unga, no dura, no even MPF, enzo dura. Kadarism, but in PF, the PF is an ambassador, although he's on sabbatical leave. He's an ambassador of repentance. Is
this an announcement that you are back from sabbatical leave?
Not really. Not really. I'm still on sabbatical leave. Or maybe let me say, yes, I'm back from sabbatical leave.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Then we'll be knocking on you very soon.
Not a problem.
Same with Chanoda. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for coming. I know that we should have had also a third guest in UPND National Youth Chairperson in Gilbert, Liswaniso, but he's unwell, so we'll definitely excuse him for that. And to both of you, I can only wish you all the best, especially as you take on this journey of coming back into politics and heading on to go and challenge the party in government. And as you continue to obviously offer checks and balances, we as 5FM are saying, please offer credible checks and balances, and no violence should be involved. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much. We wish you a Liswaniso quick recovery. Please, mukapora tell Zach so that tikangane nayo program yatu.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. Thanks, Max.
Thank you so much. And we wish him a quick recovery.
Indeed.
We hope next time he will be available for a debate so that we can discuss at length.
Great. Well, thank you very much to you, our listeners who participated and those that followed our conversation. And thank you also to our partner radio stations, and that is Tuta FM in Mansa on 90.7, also Spice FM in Kabwe. Thank you very much for carrying this program live on 91.1 and covering the rest of Central Province, as well as Wave FM in Mazabuka, covering the rest of Southern Province. Thank you very much on 98.7. We'll certainly be back this Thursday with the Thursday edition of The Burning Issue. From us, is take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye-bye.